Good morning, back down in the woodyard. So back down in the woodyard, and today I'm going to do a job that I've wanted to do, not necessarily need to do. I know if my son's watching this, he'll turn around and say, oh man, he's such a perfectionist. But I've got a few root balls that are halfway down the hill, and every time I drive past them I see them and think, geez, they look a mess. So today I've got a half a day here, and I'm going to go pull those root balls up onto the access road. If I get finished, I'll actually get them picked up and dropped into the pile of root balls. Right, let's go and grab the excavator, walk it back up the hill, and I'll show you what I've done so far. So it is a slow ride up the hill. It's about as fast as this old girl will go. Give it a bit more juice and it'll go a bit quicker, but she don't go much faster than this. So let's have a look at the problem, or what I perceive to be the problem. I come around this corner in the car and you look over to the left. What we still remain is a big root ball there, and there's another one just below it. These two were just down here, and call me perfectionist or not, but occasionally you just want to do something to fix something that you don't like to see. So I dragged those two up, used in the Captain Capstan. What I'm going to do now, we'll grab hold of those two logs and just make sure they don't roll back down the hill. I'm going to go down to this one, we'll attack it with shovel and axe and anything else that's needed to knock off all the dirt. And then we'll have a go at dragging that one up the hill. And exactly the same for the one below it. Okay, we've got the excavator in position, so we'll have a nice straight pull to the excavator. But I've got to get down there now with the shovels, which are already down there, and start breaking all that loose soil off. Right, this is one of the two problem children that's still got to be sorted out. This one here is, as you say, there's a fair bit of soil on there which we'll knock off, and one just down there as well. Which is similar but smaller. So I know that if I was just to grab hold of this root ball and drag it up the hill, a lot of this soil would come off, but a lot of it would stay as well. And I think just 5-10 minutes of shoveling, pulling flies today, 5 or 10 minutes of shoveling will really help get most of this soil back in the hole, and once the root ball's gone and the grass grows over, I won't even know it was missing. Now looking at this, I'm looking at the roots and everything, I'm not sure we'll be able to pull this one straight up with a capstan. Look, we'll give it a crack and give it a try, see how it goes. First of all, I'll try and get it to just stand up and then see if I can drag it along. Now on this side, without a bit of digging, I can't actually get underneath the thick section of that where the trunk was, so tied it round just to an end there with a loop around, so hopefully I'll try and get it to rotate. direction of pull is up there to the excavator. I don't know whether this is going to work. I think what I'm going to do is, before I do that, I'm going to actually dig this out a little bit more and just see if there's a huge root underneath there. Well, nothing obvious there. Maybe a root down deep, just the way the soil was laying. It looked like there was a big root there. Right, let's get this pull on the go. Now the danger you've got to watch out for here is once I start this root ball moving, assuming I can, it's going to want to roll down the hill, and I've got to make sure that my legs are clear of any rope, etc. on the ground, in case it breaks loose and starts rolling and the capstan winch can't hold it. Last thing I want to do is have my leg caught up in a rope while this rope ball's bolting down the hill into the dam. I'm tangled up in rope, so I'll make sure I keep myself clear up there. Right, let's see if we can get this thing moving. Well, did you see any movement? I couldn't see a thing, couldn't see any movement at all. You could hear the capstan winch there was ready to sort of stall. But I think I'll have to do a little bit more digging and bring you guys back now for a go at attempt number 2. Okay, attempt number 2. Well, always knew that was pretty ambitious. So it's time now to go get the chains and some straps and see if I can get all the way down here with chains and straps. Grab a hold of this thing with the excavator and try and use the power of the excavator to drag it up. Let me go get some equipment and I'll be back in 2 shakes. Okay, we've got chains and straps. So let's try and grab a hold of this thing, see if we can move it. Well, that was lucky, because that is supposed to be connected onto there. Man oh man, that was lucky. That thing did not just continue to roll right back down the hill. One big root ball. But I think I'm going to knock off a bit of that soil, just to, like I've said before, just to keep it in this area. Right, knock the soil off, get the chain back on, get that thing dragged up to the top. Alright, let's get the chain on and try and drag it up this hill. Now the dodgy bit is going to be, you know, I've only got so much movement of the boom on the excavator, and I've got to stop. When I stop, this log has to not want to roll, so that'll be the tricky part. I hope you guys don't get squashed, but anyway, if you do, it might be a good video. Right, let's get the chain on, back up the hill, see how far we can drag this. Right, so I've wrapped that chain around the crotch of the tree, so hopefully that thing won't come loose again. Time for me to get back up there. Teleportation. down to get you. Job's going good. Right, I'm just going to attack this with a shovel real quick while I'm here, level it all out, and then we are going to drag that the rest of the way up the hill. Right, so as you can see, it's come pretty clean. But it is one tangled mess of roots, and there's a fair bit of weight in that. Right, not got far to go. Back up to the excavator. Let's get it done and let's get the next one. This is why Capstan Winch, if you can get it to work, is so much better. I would have only walked up and down that hill once, taken the rope down, connected it, walked back up, and then winched the root ball all the way to the top. But wasn't going to work on this root ball. Always good when you get to the chain. Right, that has worked really well. Massive stump, that one. I think I'll go grab the chainsaw in a second. We'll cut a couple of sections off that. They'll be saved, dried and split. Right, let's go get the final stump. I'll bring you guys back once it's on this landing zone. Okay, we've got number 4 up the hill. Quite a bit of wood on that one, so I've got the chainsaw with me now. We'll cut a few rounds off that and see what I can scrape and scrimp off the others, but much happier with this now. Take a little bit of time for the scars to heal as I've dragged it up the hill, but it'll look much better. Save me driving past every time and seeing stumps sticking out the ground, or more to the point, root balls. Stumps, you know, where you've cut the tree off and you've got the stump in the ground, that's one thing, but you've got a root ball sticking it, that's another thing. Looks quite a mess. Right, let's get the chainsaw going. Beautiful rounds. Really glad I didn't waste all that. Get the axe on these another day and get them split, dried out, get them sold next year. go and have a play with the chainsaw with a few of the other pieces down there, see what little rounds I can scrape off, and then we'll start the task of moving these to the root ball pile. Oh, that 462 sure is cutting weird. You can see that. So if it goes down and then whoosh, huge curve on it. Now I'm guessing something up with the bar. I'll take it home, give it a good sharpen, and dress the bar as well, and hopefully that'll fix that up. I noticed it when I was cutting one earlier. I thought, geez, it's got a bit of a curve to it, and it's just got worse as I've gone along. Right, we've got all the stumps in the area, I've got everything cut off them that I can cut off. It's time now to start walking these back to the root ball pile.